Good morning, guys. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I am late this morning, but I have a very good excuse. I need your advice. The costume came yesterday and I tried it on this morning, blower and all. And Michael was a good sport. We've got a lot going on in our lives. And yet today, he actually took photos of me in the outfit. So I want to see, is it a yes or is it a no? First, there I am vamping in the octopus outfit. You see? Okay, here's one. Zoe says it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? I think it fits. The blower was on, Zoe. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of yeses and it looks fantastic. I'm going to show the comments on stage. Okay. Now here's another shot. Here's another. Wait. Here is, oh, actually, I need you to see the full thing. Here's another shot. The side view, showing I can do a backward bend. Nice. And then, should I need to direct traffic? I am ready. Okay. So I don't know. I was going to put it on for today's show. I gotta tell you the full story, but it's really warm. And right now I happen to be in Massachusetts where Michael is. I'll be going back to Detroit tomorrow. This was a kind of vacation week with school. I'll be going back to Detroit and maybe on Friday morning, I will, assuming the show moves forward, actually wear the costume for you and try to do the entire show in the costume with my tentacles. So I was surprised. Guys, if you're thinking about wearing an inflatable to the to No Kings, I was surprised at how easy it was to figure out how to put on. The thing comes with the blower sort of attached to the costume itself on the inside. And then there's this little pocket sewn in to hold a battery pack where you put the batteries. And there is a USB that runs from the blower into the battery pack. Now you have a choice. If you don't trust the battery pack to last forever, you could use one of those external chargers, like a backup charger, slip it into the pocket because you can just have, again, it's USB, not USB-C, but a regular USB, charger. So yeah, it wasn't fully blown up, but I think it's going to work. I think it's really going to work. And so guys, is it a yes? I want to see everyone in the chat. Is it a yes or not? Okay, totally cute. Yes. Go for it. Low tentacles. Yeah, awesome. Okay, guys. So this is my happy moment. I did not know how great this would be. I think this is going to be my protest costume. It's going to be my Halloween costume. If Michael and I restate our vows, I will wear it to our marriage. Okay. So again, here it is. Here's, you can show some flexibility. And of course, I will also be directing traffic. My only concern is the head of this thing. Guys, doesn't it kind of look like Jiffy Pop popcorn at the top? It does. Okay. So enough of the costumes. Hopefully I'll get to wear it here, but I promise you I will be figuring out a way not only to wear the costume, but maybe to take photos at the parade. So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of wearing my phone across the costume and holding it with my tentacles. But you know me, I will figure it out. Jeff says they don't come fully blown up. Can you imagine, Jeff? You're so funny. Guys, this is so joyful. I do say, and I will drop it into the chat, I do like my fuck fascism poster. And I do wonder if the tentacles could also hold a fuck fascism poster, because I actually think that could be genius. It could combine all of the food groups, but we have a lot to cover today. Whew. First of all, what we are up against, guys. So I'm shifting from the joy of this celebration this celebration of democracy, this rejection of kings and fascism. I'm all geared up for that. But it's not all fun and games, right, guys? I mean, this is the reason why we're going all out with our joyful warrior spirit is because we are facing not just Trump, but a whole youth army and young adult movement of utter fascism because the Republican Party is so tainted right now, associated with crooks and rapists and liars and murderers. I mean, that's what Trump is doing. The only people who are attracted to that movement, the core of it, are flat out fascists, anti-Semites, utter racists, and misogynists. And I need to share with you this article, which you may have already heard about from Politico. So if you have not, I need you to sort of focus in on another motivation for getting out there. It's not just the cost of health insurance, my friends. It's not just the brutal, inhumane, and illegal treatment of adults and children through these ICE raids. It's not just the oligarchic takeover of our media. It's also at its core, the hate. So this is a political article that ran yesterday, and I'm trying to avoid the ads here. Okay, it's an exclusive. Here is the headline. Quote, "I love Hitler," end quote. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. I'm not going to read these offensive text messages out of context here, but you can see them right in the headline. Let me read you the story so there is a full context. Actually, let me Politico's got this overview. Let's do this. Okay. Let's see if I can play this for you. Does this work? One sec.
A lot of people ask when they visit our shop, what's the difference between a cortado and an espresso?
Okay, actually, they don't have any sound on it, so I'm just going to read you the story, not have Politico. Thanks, guys. So this is a piece by Jason Bieferman and Emily Ngo from New York. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to Black people as monkeys and quote unquote the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words, quote, NIGA, end quote, and N-GUH, quote, variations of a racial slur more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans, at the time referred to rape as epic. Peter Gunta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Gunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000 member political organization for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. Okay, guys? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull back here. So I don't need, I think I'm going to read you this story. hold on one second. Let me just pull back so you don't need to be staring at the article. I'm going to tell you more about it. I'm going to drop this into the chat. So if you want to read at home, this is horrific. Okay. So more about this. Ginta was referring, this is a guy who said everyone who votes no is going to the gas chamber. And Ginta, if you remember, Peter Ginta was chair of the New York State Young Republicans. He was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the National Federation, right? That's the 15,000 people who are between the ages of 18 and 40 who identify as Republicans. And then he said, I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. 2 members of the chat responded. And by the way, you might think, oh, he's just joking. But a lot of this LARPing and pretending is the precursor and actually a reflection or a projection of what is inside for them. Okay, guys. And so now I'm going to pull up this part because you can actually see here. Let me just, I think I've got this for you. I want to share this screen. Okay, great. So he says, 2 members of the chat responded to that, what Ginta, who was trying to become the national president of this 15,000 person organization. Ginta says, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. Okay. And then in response, BW says, when do we start bullying, dude? AK said, we have a solid 3 people who can probably have them want to jump. BW adds, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? And AK said, when do we bring that side out? I'm going to create some of the greatest and this is Peter Ginta. I'm going to create the greatest physiological torture measures known to man. We only want true believers. Then someone named JM says, can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. And then AK says, I'm ready to watch people burn now. JM says, we got to pretend like that we like them. Hey, come on, take a nice shower and relax. Boom, they're dead. I don't think that is funny. And it goes on from this. These people, the names of these people, the JM is Joe Maligno, who identified himself as general counsel for the New York State Republicans. AK is Annie Katie. So this is a female based on the name. The one who said, I'm ready to watch people burn now, Annie Katie, she was New York's National Committee member. And so according to Politico, what I just read to you, this was from a trove of Telegram chats, guys. This was from a 7-month period of time. And these messages, if you're thinking, oh, is it only New York? It was New York. These were young Republicans, leaders from New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. And the thing is, they weren't all just part of this group called the Young Republicans. Some of them held office. Okay. So what happened, and by the way, this is like what they're saying when they think we're not listening. So Politico found out about these chats from the 7-month period, and they started asking around, and they found out that one member of the chat is no longer employed and another had their job offer rescinded. So obviously this got out. We've also heard that people like Elise Stefanik, who's a New York Republican and rep, and the person who did not get, remember, her UN ambassadorship, she really wanted it. Trump cheated her out of it. Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort, those 2 have denounced the chat. But when he was asked, J.D. Vance refused to do so. Now, to give you a sense of how bad this is, we're talking about 2,900 pages of these chats. And it ran from January of this year through mid-August. Just to give you a gloss on this before I go into the next story, a professor of sociology from Texas A&M named Joe Fegan had this to say. The more the political atmosphere is open and liberating, like it has been with the emergence of Trump and a more right-wing GOP even before him, it opens up young people and older people to telling racist jokes, making racist commentaries in private and public. He has studied racism, Professor Fagan, for 60 years. He said he is also concerned the words would be applied to public policy. It's chilling, of course, because they will act on those views. If you want to see, I just want to share with you now some of the photos of these folks, who see themselves as Hitler Youth. Essentially, here's Peter Genta. He often appears on CNN as part of the CNN Political Grill. Right? I don't know if we have any other photos here. Oh, here we go. Here's Bobby Walker. That was BW. He was speaking at the New York State Republicans' Rising Stars reception. Here's William Hendricks in Kansas. And one thing to say, the comments here like, I love Hitler. I'm going to stop sharing now. I think you get the idea. I remember back in the day when Hillary Clinton was condemned because she called members of Republican Party or their supporters a basket full of deplorables. Not the best thing to say, no question. But what do we have here but a basket full of Nazis? And to me, J.D. Vance refusing to denounce this tells you, I think, all you need to know, if not more. Again, refused to condemn this. He literally said in response, I'm not going to even, I don't have him online talking about this, but he basically is saying, well, I've read worse things than this. He's not going to condemn it. Let's just say it. Now, let us get to some other news. I just fed you the fascism. It's right there. And let's talk about the money and the law. Thank God we have Hakeem Jeffries speaking out about the bullshit, a swap that we are entering into with Argentina. I talked to you about it yesterday. Remember, this is where our tax dollars, $20 billion US dollars, are being used to purchase pesos that who knows what they're actually worth. It's essentially, we call it a swap, but it's almost like a loan. It's like, here you go, guys, here's 20 billion US dollars. Hand over some pesos, supposedly worth that amount. We put them in treasury. We hold them there. If the economy collapses in Argentina, those aren't worth anything. We are fucked, basically. We've lost $20 billion. That's what they're doing. And what Donald Trump just said yesterday is if his friend, the fascist guy who had a chainsaw out, just like Elon Musk, saying he was going to do these far right cuts to government, he's very unpopular. The economy is tanking. If he's not reelected, Donald Trump has said he's not going to be helpful to Argentina. It's basically, he likes this guy. He likes fascism. But what's in it for the United States? Not only are we risking $20 billion, but he's fucking over our farmers. I think you need to know a little bit more about this. Let me play you Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who lays this out. We are bailing out Argentina, and Argentina competes with us in selling soybeans to China. So countries who can now not buy U.S. soybeans, a giant market, food is dying in the fields, can now turn to Argentina because we have helped bail them out. Let's watch this.
Going to throw some money at it. By the way, that money's being paid for by those very farmers because we know that we pay the tariffs. These markets are they're signing contracts with Argentina and Brazil for 10-year contracts. And just the absurdity and it's it's almost unimaginable that he's got Milley in there giving them $20 billion so that they can undercut us and China can buy their soybeans from them. And now what they've learned is China has learned they can replace our markets, and they have more trusted markets in Argentina and Brazil. And to make this worse is the number of acres that Brazil and Argentina have planted have gone up, which have increased input costs for our farmers here. So it is a perfect storm against them. And then couple that with, you know, J.D. Vance sweeping in behind it with his hedge fund buddies buying up land. This, I haven't seen anything like it since I've been in this. I served on the Ag Committee in Congress for 12 years, having been in farm country in the 1980s. We have got bankruptcy skyrocketing and our crisis lines are just being mobbed. These folks are in, it's tough out here.
Did you hear this? Always know when there's a disaster, and whether it's homeowners or farm owners are going broke because they can't pay back the debts, the money they took out when times were good. Farmers have to rely on debt in order to fund their crops. When that collapses and there is land up for cheap because everybody's desperate, the banks are desperate to sell the land, to foreclose, the farmers and so on, there are always bottom feeders. And the bottom feeders now are J.D. Vance and his hedge fund friends. If you want to know in the chart that I showed you yesterday, why people, the billionaires, got so much richer, not just during COVID, that disaster, but also in the 90s and so on, it was taking advantage of the saving and loan failures, taking advantage of the 2008 global financial crisis. There are people who salivate, who plan for these events. And now there are people who get into government to engineer them. These guys are crooks all the way down. Now, we also have Hakeem Jeffries, finally, speaking out much more strongly about what's going on. Let me play. He was on the similar topic, on the bailout of Argentina with Lawrence last night. Let's play that.
$20 billion to Argentina. What would a Democratic Congress do with that $20 billion?
Well, that $20 billion can actually be used to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for more than 20 million Americans who are going to otherwise confront dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles that are about to skyrocket because of the unwillingness of Republicans to extend those Affordable Care Act tax credits that benefit everyday Americans. You know, this is a real extraordinary thing, Lawrence, and I'm so thankful that you're covering it. This isn't an America First Act. This is an Argentina First Act. And if Donald Trump can find $20 billion to bail out his right-wing dictator friend in Argentina, it's extraordinary to me that Republicans are unwilling to even have a discussion about how we address the health care crisis that they've created, which of course includes the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health centers are closing all across the country, including in Mike Johnson's home state of Louisiana because of their one big ugly bill. And now they're refusing to deal with the Affordable Care Act tax credit issue. It's a shame, but they can find money, $20 billion for Argentina.
Okay, keep talking about it. It's a damn time. Now, speaking of J.D. Vance and his bullshit, Donald Trump got so angry yesterday, he refused to take answers from ABC News because he was mad that George Stephanopoulos, again, called him out, called J.D. Vance out on his bullshit. So I want to play this video for you. This is a two-parter. This was what Stephanopoulos did, and then we'll get to Trump.
Whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
That was, he just cut him off. So Donald Trump was super pissed about that, right? And here's what he had to say about it. Let me just get that clip for you as well. They think they're going to control the press. And to some degree, they have gotten many news organizations to bow to them, but not all of them. So let me play this for you and give you some encouraging news. This isn't great, but I got something to follow it up with that will make you feel better. Here we go.
ABC fake news.
Mr. President,
Brian, please.
First
of all, congratulations. I don't take questions from ABC fake news. After what you did with Stephanopoulos to the Vice President of the United States, I don't take questions from ABC fake news. Brian, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sure, he wants to behave that way, but I've got good news for you. None of the news organizations are signing on to the Pentagon rules that you only can cover the Pentagon if you agree to Pete Hegseth's plan that you are not going to hold on one second. Let me just tell you this. So, okay, the Pentagon gave out a list of demands saying that there's a new policy, and the only way you are allowed to cover as a member of the press the Pentagon is if you promise not to obtain any unauthorized material and you're restricted access. And so what's really great, guys, is that there is no one other than that stupid fake OAN News who has signed on to this. So let me tell you who has said fuck off to the Pentagon. The Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, The Atlantic, The Guardian, Reuters, the Associated Press, NPR, Huffington Post, and Breaking Defense. All of them said they will not sign on to this. And in fact, even though the Washington Post has, let's say, how do I put this lightly, has been acting like Pravda for this administration, there is a place where they drew the line. So Matt Murray, the executive editor for the Washington Post, had this to say: the proposed restrictions undercut First Amendment protections by placing unnecessary constraints on gathering and publishing information. This is a statement he published on Twitter, the website now apparently called X. Haha. He added, "We will continue to vigorously and fairly report on the policies and positions of the Pentagon and officials across the government." Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic, remember the guy who was accidentally added to the group chat for the Pentagon? He said the signal chat, he said that this policy, that The Atlantic fundamentally opposes this policy. And he's also said it, quote, constrains how journalists can report on the U.S. military, which is funded by nearly $1 trillion in taxpayer dollars annually. So it goes on and on, guys. I am happy about that. There is resistance still. Yes, Donald Trump is an authoritarian. Yes, the young Republicans are fascists. We know this. But there are more peace-loving, nonviolent, egalitarian Americans who treasure our freedom, treasure freedom of the press, and say no to kings than there are them. There was never in your lifetime, I know you keep hearing this, and I know this seems like hype. It is hype, because I want to tell you there has never been anything more important in the future of our country, in the history of this nation. And I want this to align with your personal story, then showing up on Saturday, somewhere, somehow, even if it's just to watch, whether you have an inflatable costume or a handmade sign, whether you have a camera or whether you just have your own 2 feet, whether you have a wheelchair, whatever you need to do, find a way. A lot of these places are accessible. Show up. This is bigger than Woodstock. This is bigger than the last No Kings March. This, I hope, will be bigger than when they flooded the streets in South Korea. This is our moment. And it only goes up from here in our resistance. We need to show up. And with this, I'm going to share with you Ezra Levin. He's a friend of our show. He was on last night with Rachel Maddow. Remember, Ezra is a co-founder with Leah, his spouse, of why am I forgetting Leah's name? Ezra Levin, and I don't want to leave her out. Leah Greenberg. I was going to call her Goldberg. Leah Greenberg. And Ezra was on last night with Rachel talking about what we can expect. He's not overhyping it. He's laying it out here. Let's play that.
Unimaginable number. More than 5 million Americans turned out in small towns and big cities all across the country for those No Kings protests against the Trump administration back in June. That No Kings Day protest, that one day in June, is considered to be one of the 3 largest days of peaceful protest ever in U.S. history. There were so many demonstrations.
I said last night, okay, today's Wednesday. Rachel's only on Mondays. I apologize. I'm going to start this at the beginning so I don't interrupt. Thank you for correcting me, Michael. I've lost track of my days. Here we go.
It was an almost unimaginable number. More than 5 million Americans turned out in small towns and big cities all across the country for those No Kings protests against the Trump administration back in June. That No Kings Day protest, that one day in June, is considered to be one of the 3 largest days of peaceful protest ever in U.S. history. There were so many demonstrations on No Kings Day in June that when we covered them here on this show the following day, we had to show them in batches of 20 to even scratch the surface of how many of them there were. Well, now the second No Kings Day is just around the corner. It's this Saturday, October 18th. And the organizing effort around it so far indicates that it might be even bigger this time around. In June, for those huge protests, they got like 2,100 different protests. This time for Saturday, organizers are expecting more than 2,500, even more than we saw in June. Joining us now is Ezra Levin. He's co-founder and co-executive director of Indivisible, the group that has helped lead the organizing for the No Kings rallies. Mr. Levin, it's nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Rachel.
What are you expecting for Saturday?
I'm expecting it to be huge. I'm expecting it to be boisterous. I'm expecting it to be joyful. It's going to be the place to be, Rachel. I mean, it really is. I hope people are, we're doing big things here, right? We're collectively fighting for democracy. That's big, that's serious. Trump is saber rattling, and that can be scary. But fundamentally, what this is about is everybody coming together and demonstrating we don't do kings in America. And they're going to have funny signs. There's going to be chanting. There's going to be dancing. There's going to be singing. We want this to be a place where anybody can come out. And it doesn't matter your ideological persuasion. It doesn't matter who you voted for before. It doesn't matter if you've never protested before. This is a place for you if you believe we don't do kings in this country.
Hello. That's us. We don't do kings in this country. Guys, I was talking to a friend in Chicago, and she said, not only is it horrific what's going on there right now, but she's planning to go out and protest with people who have never been before. I am really hopeful on 2 fronts. I hope the weather is amazing everywhere. I hope that you find a way to go. This will be so many family friendly, so many all ages, all abilities friendly events. They're throughout the day. I found out that in Michigan, there are, I think it's like, I had the number the other day. It's something like over 50 events in the state of Michigan alone. I just had this up on my my Facebook page. 100 rallies. 100 rallies in the state of Michigan alone. Think about that. I mean, you can look online at the No Kings website. I think I'm going to, before I get to Crazy Town, I'm going to pull up No Kings and let's see where okay, here I am. Let me pull this up for you. Can someone in the chat ask me, thanks, Deb. Deb's got it right there. Deb's got it there. You can do these different options. I'm going to pull up a third option that she's also put up before here. I'm going to share my screen on No Kings. Okay. So this says, oops. Great. I still have Ezra. And I wanted to share my No Kings page. So let's try that again. There we go. Okay. So here we are. Can someone in the chat throw out a state that you want me to see where there are protests? Like anywhere, any place. I've told you all the places in Michigan. Shall I pick a Colorado? Okay, Lisa Marie, I'm going to find an event in Colorado. Colorado. Well, Colorado City. That is in Texas. I'm sorry. How about just Colorado? How about Colorado Springs, Colorado? So we'll start there. And I wish that there were another. Oh, let me do it differently. Let me find an event. Let me go back. Okay. So I'm going to find an event and I'm going to do it by state. I'm just going to go into the state of, I'm having trouble here just getting, I'm in Wyoming. I want to be in Colorado here. It's hard for me to, oh gosh, guys. Okay, what if I do this? I thought it was easier, but there's so many damn things. Okay, I've got Wyoming here. Here's the whole state of Colorado. Do you see it? I'll make this even bigger. Look at Colorado. I mean, I can't even tell you how many there are. Let's say, I mean, in Colorado, let's pick a smallish area. Colorado Springs. There are 2 protests in Colorado Springs. One is at the Manitou Fitness Center. And then the other, let's go back in Manitou Fitness Center from 3 to 5 p.m. And I guess that's there. We've got Breckenridge, Colorado from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Triangle Park. You go down to, let's go up to No Kings in Greeley, Colorado. Even in the Rendezvous Event Center in Winter Park. Okay. If I back up, I'm going to pick a different state. What about the state of, I don't know, let's pick Oklahoma. Okay. Oklahoma is a pretty damn red state. I'm looking at a gazillion here as well. Obviously, Oklahoma City, but what is this place in Oklahoma? Champlin Park in Enid, Oklahoma from 10 till 2. No kings, no billionaires. Hello. I mean, guys, I'm going to stop sharing now. It's everywhere, everywhere. And you know what the most fun part of a protest is? Oh, someone said try Kentucky. Okay. Let me try Kentucky. That'll be fun. Okay. I got to go out to get to Kentucky. Kentucky is over here by Ohio. Damn it. Oh, Athens, Ohio. Let's go in. Okay. Let's see. I need to get to Kentucky. Here we go. Here's Kentucky. Are you looking at the outline of this state of Kentucky? I'll pick, let's pick here. Well, we've got Bowling Green, Kentucky. Meet on the sidewalks at the intersection of the 1000 block of Alumni Avenue, 11:30 to 1 Central Time. It's No Kings Bowling Green. How about Stanford, Kentucky from 9:30 to 11:30? Oh, that's a private event. Oof. Good for you. And then we also have Madisonville, Kentucky at the old Hopkins Courthouse. I mean, guys, this is no joke. One of the most fun things besides being at the rally, I got to tell you, is coming home and going on social media, and seeing all the photos. And if you're doing that, if you're on Blue Sky, please, and you put them up, please put the hashtag. I don't always remember hashtag No Kings, because if you do that, then other people can find them, right? And maybe even your city or your state, like hashtag No Kings, hashtag Kentucky. So that way, you know, when Rachel Maddow on Monday, someone told me she's going to be on Friday also this week, but on Monday, when she comes back to talk about all the rallies, you know, her staff is probably going to be looking for places like Bowling Green, Kentucky, or rallies in Florida. Like, is there one down at Mar-a-Lago? or near Mar-a-Lago. I mean, I bet there is. I bet there is. Let's take one last look before I do Crazy Town, because I am curious. Is there a rally near Mar-a-Lago? So let's go back out. I could have so much fun with this today. I know I have work to do, guys, but let's do Florida. Okay. And I'm having a hard time. This is Daytona Beach. This is Orlando. You see, I want to go farther south here. Okay, what if I do that? That's not helping. If I do this little arrow. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. What if okay, I'm going to go back out. Oh, Cape Canaveral. Look at that. Cape Canaveral has one. Oh, my grandmother used to live in Spring Hill. There was one there. How about Northern Florida, where things are usually quieter? Okay. How about Daytona Beach? Yeah, Daytona Beach. No kings at Daytona Beach. I'm going to go back out a little bit so I can get, okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with, sorry, guys. It's a little tricky, but if I put in Mar-a-Lago, that's, let's put Palm Beach. Let's do Palm Beach, Florida. Amazing. Yes. So we have West Palm. Yes. This event is private. I can understand. Maybe you don't want someone on your case. How about up here? No kings at Palm Beach Gardens from 10 to 12. We also have another place. You can RSVP for the Lake Worth Beach rally. Okay, guys. I mean, there is plenty. You didn't see me sharing it, but I was looking. Guys, there are so many options for you. So please tell me. Please tell me. Oh, someone pointed out they don't want any MAGA trouble at their events. So some people are having private events. That's cool. If you think it's going to be a small event in your home, maybe you just want to do that. But I will be at a giant public event. Now, I did tell my friend David I might go to Ferndale, but actually my costume, did you see it? Let me just show you that again. This costume is not going to fit in an automobile. I will not be driving in my costume, and I don't really want to get dressed on the street. So I think I'm only going to be going by foot. I'll be walking from my condo down to the Detroit River in that, or I will be taking the Q line. And anyhow, the point is there'll be a lot of us in inflatable costumes. It will be fun. And yeah, that is going to be how it's going to be on Saturday. Okay, so let's do Crazy Town. This is a doozy. Crazy Town. You know, leave it to Donald Trump to always center himself. Yes, he spoke at Charlie Kirk's funeral. I'm sorry, he was speaking. I don't know what this event was. This was yesterday. And so I don't know why he was speaking this event. I know there was a Charlie Kirk memorial, but there was, I know what it was. Yesterday he gave Charlie Kirk a special medal, a Medal of Freedom. He presented this posthumous Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, yesterday. And while he was presenting this Medal of Freedom, Donald Trump decided to elevate himself and kind of call Charlie Kirk an unskilled loser. Listen.
Enforcement fired sniper rifles at ICE agents and me, but I made a turn at a good time. I turned to the right. Charlie couldn't believe it, actually. He said, "How the hell did you make that turn?" I said, "I don't know."
What? Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. He didn't make a turn. When he is awarding to Charlie Kirk's widow this Medal of Freedom, it's kind of insane that he got it, given that Charlie Kirk was a complete racist, horribly sexist, and was not the person they're holding him out to be. He did not actually welcome freedom of speech. He tried to get professors fired, put them on watch lists, which put targets on their back. That aside, Donald Trump talks about the assassination attempt on his life, about how he made a move. That's why he lived. Charlie didn't move out of the way of the bullet. What a cuck. That's what I got for you. I will see you tomorrow morning. We have a special guest. More on that later to talk about election law. Surprise guest, not telling you who it is. It's going to be amazing. See you in the morning.
Hello, prison mates. It's the Taub show. Well, welcome everyone. Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There is hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Taub show.